Now, with Justin Fields going to the Jets, the former Jets quarterback could be going to Pittsburgh. This first bubbled up yesterday. It made sense from the moment it looked like Aaron Rodgers was not sticking around in New York. Pittsburgh Steelers. And it accelerated throughout the day. And I was told yesterday, it's the Steelers unless the Giants come in and blow them away. Because, Chris, my understanding is he wants to play 2 more years. Whether or not he should isn't the issue. He wants to play 2 more years. If you go to the Giants and they don't make it to the playoffs and John Mara blows it up, Aaron Rodgers has the same outcome next year that he had this year. New GM, new coach say, thanks, see you later. You go to Pittsburgh, you got a much better chance at getting 2 more years.
Yes, right.
That's the key. And you got a better chance at ending your career with a playoff team, not with a fizzle, the last shot of a Roman candle in Week 18. Who cares? You get to the playoffs, even if you lose, you at least hadn't been to the playoffs since 2021. He wants to get back to the playoffs. The Steelers are the team, more so than any other team out there that he's been linked to, that can guarantee he's going to have postseason games as he finishes his career.
Agreed. I mean, we've been talking about this for 3 weeks about lack of great options out there available for Aaron Rodgers. Wanted to go to the Rams if Stafford left and went somewhere else. That didn't happen. See you later. After that, you get into the options and you go, what's really to like for what Aaron Rodgers is looking for? Yeah, he's definitely looking for a team that he thinks goes get in the playoffs and then maybe further with the talents of himself and maybe another guy here and there. Pittsburgh Giants, yes, you're going to take Pittsburgh right now. With all things equal, of course, Mike Tomlin's there. There's just more pieces altogether, and they have been a winning football team. Even though it hasn't been great, they've been in the playoffs. So can Aaron Rodgers take them over the hump? But, yeah, I look at that and go, that's certainly the best spot. I worry about my New York Giants because I'm sitting here going, damn, we're stuck in a little bit of a quarterback conundrum here. Without Aaron Rodgers, we're almost being forced into the drafting of a quarterback or trading up to get a quarterback or whatever else, and that's what's really tough. But as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, if you gave me the choice between the Giants and the Steelers, yes, as much as I love the Giants, you know that, family-on-family crime between the Maras and the Rooneys, I'd take the Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
If Russell Wilson were to sign with the Giants, would the saying be "Let's Beanstalk"?
I don't know what it would be. I'm trying not to think about that. Okay, I don't want to go there.
But that may be what happens.
I know
that may be what happens. But Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers, I'm told it could happen as soon as today. And yesterday when I was watching the coverage, like every once in a while there'd be a mention of the Colts where he'd compete with Anthony Richardson. He'd win that competition. The Vikings, where maybe if the Vikings were thinking about 1 year with Sam Darnold, 1 more year with J.J. McCarthy, I think McCarthy, if he got sidelined for 2 more years, he'd want out. If he has to sit 1 more year, I don't know. And maybe he'd sit 1 more year for Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. But those became secondary options at best. The Steelers have emerged as the most likely candidate for Aaron Rodgers, and it could happen as soon as today. And the numbers, very interesting. My guess, based upon somewhat informed speculation, 2 years, $90 million, with about $40 million fully guaranteed at signing. Sounds like a lot until you look at the list of the highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League. And if this would happen, Chris, it's just another example, stark and glaring, of how the Steelers have dramatically changed their ways. The DK Metcalf contract, signing Aaron Rodgers if they do it. This is a new team. This is not your dad's or your granddad's Steelers or your great-granddad's Steelers, because this is the way they've been forever. They're recognizing if we want to contend in today's NFL, we got to do some stuff different.
Definitely.
And this may be the last thing they do before they do the thing that 30% of the Steelers fan base wants them to do whenever they lose consecutive regular season games, and that's change coaches. That could be the next move because the stuff they're doing now is so unlike them. Changing coaches is the next thing that's so unlike them.
Well, it could put more pressure on Mike Tomlin just to go, hey, look, we're doing things here now. The team's there. The players are here. We're spending money, right? There's no excuse. So that's where it will put the onus a little bit more on Mike Tomlin. You're right about that. But I think they're looking at the current environment, the NFL, the landscape of it all, and just I think hopefully they finally have come to the realization that the way they do things, it's just too hard to think you're going to compete all the time and be one of the best teams in football that way. No, you're going to have to at times take some chances, do something drastic, like we've been saying with the Steelers, instead of just meddling in this 8-8, 9-8, this like 10-7ville all the time. Right? This is the first time where you feel like, oh, whoa, okay, maybe they're trying to change that narrative. Maybe they're trying to do a little bit more than just limp in the playoffs and lose in the first round, right? So that's where you're excited about it and what else could happen here. Aaron Rodgers, that contract, Mike, I'm not even going to lie. I thought maybe you might say a lower number just because I thought he might go, hey, I'll take a little lower even than $45 million a year. Just get some other players. Get me another receiver on the roster. Do some things like that because I do, like you've talked about, I think more importantly to anything to Aaron Rodgers is ending his career on a high note, being in a positive situation where he feels like he can go to the playoffs and win some football games.
That's what I thought too. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised he would want that much. But there's a certain level, I think, of respect that needs to be infused into the contract.
I know.
Remember when Phillip Rivers signed with the Colts and what he got was $25 million a year, what Brady got was $25 million a year, and what Breeze got was $25 million a year. And it's like, what's wrong with this picture? But remember, it's just like a lawyer's got to drive a nice car. Bookie's got to drive a nice car. There's certain professions where you got to act the part. And I know Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but if he shows up with a Justin Fields contract, you're going to say something's wrong with this picture. They're not treating Aaron Rodgers the way that he needs to be treated. And sometimes it's the financial package that gives the guy the organizational seal of approval. It makes it easier for him to lead. Hey, they're paying him $45 million a year. Oh, hey, we better pay attention. Even though 45 is 75% of the market, this is where the owners benefit because the fans see what players make, and we compare it to our own lives and we say, holy crap, $20 million a year, holy crap, right? We don't know what the owners are making. But remember, folks, every dollar that goes into the fund that plays all players, the 32 owners are getting a dollar there too. And there's a lot fewer owners than there are players. And it doesn't take much to do the math. But we just don't see the owners' tax returns and balance sheets and nooks and crannies of everything they make. So $45 million sounds shocking, but again, it's 75% of the market. 75%. So it's not, when you think about it, it's not crazy. On the surface, it does seem shocking, Chris.
Yeah, yes, it does, but not in the big picture of what you're talking about and how big the pie is in the NFL and all the money that there is there to be made and everything that goes into that. The NFL's killing it. They're printing money right now. When things in the economy's bad, COVID, whatever, the NFL's still thriving. It doesn't matter. It's the biggest thing in our country. So, yeah, it is shocking. I hear you. I'm a guy that played in the NFL only 15 years ago, and I'm like, whoa, these numbers are insane. But the league's insane. It's bigger than ever. Like you talked about, it's a Monday in March. And by far the biggest thing in America yesterday was NFL free agency. Nobody cared. We're on the premise of like college basketball tournament season, and we're getting close to the NBA playoffs, and Major League Baseball is about to start and doing spring training. And America said, the hell with all those things. Football players are changing teams, and that just speaks to how great business is booming, as they say in the NFL.
And it's not even close. It's a dramatic gap. I mean, when the announcement of the NFL's schedule, when we already knew who was going to play where, we just didn't know when that's the biggest story in sports the night it happens, and playoffs are going on for hockey and basketball, and the baseball regular season is going, and nobody cares about any of that. They want to know the NFL schedule. Yeah, it's the biggest show in the country. They're trying to make it the greatest show on earth. Maybe one of these days they'll get there, but for now, it is the biggest thing around. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.